Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So I have been addressing tokenization for a while on the channel, even when it comes to Hedera, when it comes to Casper, when it comes to XDC, you name it. Tokenization is a major part of the revolution happening around this technology. And I also think that tokenization is going to provide us with a ton of value and also make us extremely wealthy along the way, because, these protocols that tokenization endeavors are launching on, or the institutions that are focused on some of these major, infrastructure layers, they know where the value is. For an example, Stellar, right? Stellar working with Franklin Templeton on tokenization endeavors, that's a huge move. People still overlook XLM, and I'm just like, what are you doing? You have to be focused on some of these big moves, because these institutions are here building, tapping into the next generation technology infrastructure layers. And in my opinion, when we look at Stellar, and even when we look at Ripple, or even when we look at Hedera, a lot of these companies and a lot of these players in the space and the technology that they're tapping into and utilizing is going to be extremely valuable in the future. This is why I always say, when we look at XRP or when we look at, even XLM, we have an incredible opportunity in front of us. But regardless, we have this from February 12th, and it was initially talking about tokenization, business strategies for navigating tokenization. This was part 2. Now, I've broken down part 1, and I've even broken down part 2, but the reason why I'm bringing this back up is because big shout to XRP Drops. He gave us a full breakdown regarding this. I'm not going to waste your guys' time too much, but regardless, these are the 4 key elements that will serve as the foundation for success for a tokenized economy: liquidity, on and off ramps, custody, and compliance. There needs to be a market behind the tokenized economy. You can't just have, hey, let me tokenize $1 trillion worth of real estate and it's just going to sit there. No, people are going to, they're going to want to sell it, buy it, trade it for other things. There needs to be a market maker regarding that. So how do we enable liquidity? How do we enable on and off ramps? How do we have all of this in place? Well, you kind of have to go under that all-in-one umbrella approach, and Ripple has that. If you think about it, right, with liquidity, XRP and the XRP ledger is providing incredible liquidity, especially with the AMM. If the AMM gets passed, that's going to be a big one. That will provide a major step forward for this to be realized in. On and off ramps, right? Again, when we look at market makers and when we look at the market, there needs to always be on and off ramps. I do think that with Medico, there is a little bit of an approach towards building that. But right now, on and off ramps, we're still kind of at the forefront of that. I think that once we start to see tokenization really heating up and we start to see a lot of mass adoption from institutions, I think that that's when we will start to see banks even opening up some on and off ramp services to and from crypto, especially even around tokenization. Custody, Medico's already solving custody with Ripple. Ripple is, they acquired Medico for that. And compliance. Ripple has always been compliant. A lot of people still give Ripple a bad name because, they got sued by the SEC. Guys, they've been compliant the entire way through. They tried to work with the SEC. The SEC didn't want to work with them. The SEC gave them nothing. There was no clarity. There was nothing. Now, beyond this, right, we have this over here. Benefits of tokenization can only come to fruition when the markets for these tokenized assets become more liquid and have a strong secondary market. This is regarding the Part 2 series. Ripple payments, the XRP ledger, the decentralized exchange, and the automated market maker is all the crucial steps towards having this realized in, because liquidity is the focus. But we even have down here, like, companies can further benefit from the operational efficiencies of tokenized assets on the blockchain, including faster transactions, reduced management fees, and lower cost. As one example, the XRP ledger, an open source decentralized public blockchain, was purpose built for financial use cases and has enabled over 2.6 billion transactions to settle in real time error-free for more than a decade. And again, that's a crucial thing to mention as well regarding XRP and the XRP ledger. It's been purpose-built for a lot of these great use cases. It's been up and running, 0 errors during this entire time, settling over 2.6 billion transactions, big step. Again, focus on what is in front of you technologically. Everyone keeps focusing on just the price action, but you also have to be here for the tech. If you wanted to make a ton of money in this space, diversify, make a ton of money during the bull run while stacking up on utility projects on the sidelines. You could even take profits from them, which I always advise. Pay yourselves always. But regardless, long term, this technology will matter. I see a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm not here for the technology. I'm here to get paid. Guys, where do you think most of the wealth comes from? Majority of the wealth will be made from the big revolution being realized in. It's just like the dot-com bubble, right? A lot of people made money on the way up, but then we got that major shakeout. It lasted a couple years. Then people still holding Amazon, or the ones that were still buying Amazon at that time, or Apple or Google or Microsoft, guess what? They got insanely wealthy. And that's how you get insanely wealthy with XRP as well. Because we could clearly see the writing on the wall. And the same goes for XRP, XLM, HBAR, Casper, QNT, Algorand, Nexera, you name it. There's a lot of great projects out there. There's a lot of great opportunities as well. But also over here we have from the Part 3 series. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting. This got posted on March 8th. We have Ripple unlocking liquidity in the tokenized economy, Part 3. Big shout out to XRP drops again. When you have this technology that's showing its promise and now you've taken the rough edges off of the first version, that's when enterprises can lean in and adopt. This is Brad Chase, head of liquidity products at Ripple. Liquidity is a potential benefit of tokenization. Digital asset liquidity measures the ease with which businesses and individuals can buy or sell digital assets, demand, interoperability, ability to match demand with supply, a vibrant liquid secondary marketplace, secondary market liquidity aggregation is lacking. There is little benefit to holding a tokenized asset if you can't find a buyer when you're ready to sell. But demand for blockchain will inevitably catch up to technological developments, analog to the internet. The opportunity of tokenization lies in increased liquidity, and the challenges lie in ensuring demand exists and connecting digital asset holders to sophisticated on and off ramps. And yes, this is 100% crucial. Like when we really look at what's happening here, we're just waiting for things to catch up to the actual technology. Guys, this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, regardless of how you look at it. Again, if you're not here for that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, if you don't care about it, if you don't think it's actually going to happen, that's totally fine. I'm not here to persuade you. I'm taking the risk. I'm holding some of these projects. I will continue to hold some of these projects until we have the utility-driven bull run and really realized in, because I do believe that we are getting closer and closer to that utility bull run. I do believe that utility will matter very, very soon. But regardless of that, you really need to focus on the steps here and what they're telling you, what they're talking about, because there's a lot of pieces that need to be put in place before you could even see the picture. And that's what's happening right now. They're putting everything together. But also over here we have Ripple's Liquidity Hub creates an interoperability layer where value can start moving, flowing freely. This enables the Internet of Value, Ripple's primary vision, which I just recently talked about the Internet of Value recently. And so same way that you saw this Cambrian explosion at the Internet, enabling new types of business, new types of capabilities, we'll see the same thing here. Brad Chase, head of Liquidity. Check it out.
One way to use those things well and kind of enable the Internet of Value is interoperability between these assets. So at Ripple, this is why we have a product like Liquidity Hub, where you need a way to be able to exchange an asset from one type to another. When you have that interoperability layer, value can start moving, flowing freely. And so the same way that you saw this Cambrian explosion of the internet, enabling new types of business, new types of capabilities, we'll see the same thing here. One way to use those things well.
And this really is where we start to see things get realized in. The Liquidity Hub, all of these big pieces that Ripple has been trying to launch, the Liquidity Hub. You go and look at what they've been doing with cross-border payments with just XRP. Ripple Payments is a big piece of their business model, but the Liquidity Hub is huge. What they've been doing with Medica, with custody is huge. All of these steps are for the Internet of Value to be a success. They have been focused on that Internet of Value for years and years and years. I'm very, very excited about this because this is much bigger than the internet. It's much bigger than the internet. And there's so much wealth still there. Outside of everything that we've been hearing about, it's going to be a blow off top. Everyone's going to get extremely wealthy. Like most of the wealth is going to be made when majority of the retail sector is out of the space. They're going to get shaken out. There's going to be a regulatory rug pull. Something along the way is going to shake out majority, while that very small percentage of people actually get wealthy. And it's not me being that guy. I hope that everyone can get wealthy. But that is not how the real world works, right? You have people that will get to that end point. Before they get over that finish line, they'll quit. That's just how life works. But regardless of this, we also have this. At the end of 2022, the Monetary Authority of Singapore announced that Project Guardian had completed its first live trades, believed to be the first time a major bank had tokenized deposits on a public blockchain. Guys, this is DBS Bank, JP Morgan, and SBI conducting foreign exchange and government bond transactions on the Polygon network. Doesn't matter about Ripple, doesn't matter about XRP. Tokenization is already happening. The revolution is already upon us. All we have to do is be patient from here on out. And here's another great video with Brad Chase. This is liquidity and institutional adoption of crypto solutions. Because talking about institutions and how the revolution has already started, check this video clip out.
I'm not known for being brief, but it is a good challenge I'm up for. Hi, my name is Brad Chase, and this is Crypto in a Minute. Liquidity absolutely impacts institutional adoption. So institutions, larger financial service businesses, banks, corporates, whatnot, they're going to need to be transacting and moving value in large sizes, more frequently, and importantly, running a business, they have high demands for uptime and availability. So they need to be able to meet the needs of their customers. That means they need consistent supply of crypto liquidity to facilitate that value movement. So if you're building a business and you're an institution that wants to adopt crypto, enough liquidity is crucial for you to be able to enter the space. Of course, the flip side of that is as institutions enter the space, that's going to draw more liquidity into the space. Though that's because that large demand need can be met with supply. And so as you have more and more of that supply, you get a nice flywheel effect where more and more institutions adopt, they provide some liquidity, others come in to meet that liquidity need, and it grows and grows and grows. So crypto liquidity, absolutely essential for the adoption of crypto by institutions.
And this is where liquidity, it's so funny because, you know, for the past couple years when we really have been doing research on XRP and what Ripple has been doing, there's one big focus, and it's liquidity. When I say that Ripple's in a completely different ball game than any other player in the space, I mean it. You can make all the jokes all day long about how Shiba Inu and this meme coin and that meme coin is doing better than XRP. Guys, XRP is not heavily adopted like you think it is. XRP is not being heavily utilized right now. Realistically speaking, right now as we speak, XRP is barely adopted. 99% of the space is based on nonsense. 99% of the space is moved on nonsense. Do you guys remember back in 2021 when Litecoin went crazy because someone put out a fake article regarding, I think it was Amazon or maybe even Walmart using Litecoin for transactions? And Litecoin skyrocketed. That's the type of market that we're still in. That's why when we look at XRP, that's why when we look at a lot of these projects, and we're sitting here and we're in the stage of disappointment, like, oh, like I thought XRP was going to do better because we hear all these discussions, we hear all these talks. Being realistic about it, we're not going to see those high prices for XRP until things are fully realized in. Before we have all of the pieces put together, before we have all of the institutional demand, XRP is not going to move the way everyone is believing it to. Now, is that a bad thing? No, because we will get there. By 2030, guys, this entire space by 2030 is going to be a completely different sector. You are either in this space now and you'll be a part of that major wealth boom, or you will be a part of this space now, be greedy, sell out of all your positions and leave the space. Because there's a difference between taking profits, exiting positions, and staying in the space to study, learn, understand where we are headed. Never leave this space. Because by 2030, you're going to be kicking yourselves if you did leave crypto too early. There is still a lot of upside here. There is many, many, many years of adoption, of implementation, planning, POCs. But over that course of time, we will still see XRP and all of these utility projects perform very well. We're still very early into this altcoin cycle. I'm very happy so far with what we have been seeing around the space because, again, a lot of the focus is on memes. At the end of the day, utility projects, they will move. But you got to be a little bit more patient. We're still early into this cycle. We're still very early. Bitcoin has not had a parabolic move over its all-time high yet. So be patient when it comes to XRP. But tokenization, it's here. It's happening. Institutional demand behind tokenization is so big. But liquidity is at the forefront of this. And technically speaking, when we think about that, XRP and the XRP ledger are at the forefront of this. This proves that. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because I'm free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.